Hey, I'm Carlos Garcia, and today is a little bit of a different of a video. So on the James E. Pepper video from last Friday, I mentioned how I was on the Bourbonado group, and they kind of interviewed me, kind of like a live stream on Zoom. I was able to get that video and post it for you guys on this platform. So the whole interview is about an hour and a half. I haven't done it yet. I'm doing this part first, but I'm gonna go through and try and maybe edit it down a little bit. We'll see. If not, it's gonna be an hour and a half, but it's like a Zoom interview for the Bourbonado group, which is a great group. I'll put a link to them in the description so you can go check them out. You know, it's free to join and everything, but a great group over there. So definitely check them out. You know, they were asking me just different questions, and they have some smaller YouTube channels like me, small YouTube channel. So there's some YouTube related questions. So today would be a perfect opportunity. Throw in the comments any questions you have for me, and now, you know, I answer them anyways, but today, why not do a Q&A, and whatever questions you have, I'll answer them in the comment section. Grab yourself a pour, and hopefully you can enjoy this sit down interview hangout with the Bourbonado group.
So, everyone, if you do not know, and I'm sure you do by now, this is Carlos Garcia, who has a YouTube channel that I love watching, and I've been watching for a few months and following him. And as I was watching and following him, I would see a lot of our members' names pop up, and then all of a sudden, I saw one of our members win one of his sample drawings. He actually won on the wheel. It was really cool to see. Yeah, really cool to see some of our guys on there and commenting, and that made me interested and said, well, if this many people follow you, we're going to try to get you on and have a conversation with you and get to know you a little bit better. So thank you so much for
I
joining us for
appreciate it. The honor's all mine, let me tell you.
that. No, this is awesome. So we're going to hit a few, but to start off, why don't you just give us a little bit about your background?
I've been in the whiskey world for, I don't know, like 6-ish years, I would say. Before that, I was into craft IPAs and craft beer. Before that, me and my wife are big wine people. Actually, like right here is a bunch of wine still. So, you know, I like alcohol. So there's that. Definitely from my
That's
military
a good place to
stuff.
start.
You know, for years I was really big into the SLB community. You know, I had a bunch of friends over the years, like, you need to do something because you have all these bottles, you watch all this WhiskeyTube. And I was like, well, I guess I'd start a YouTube channel. So I started it last year, January 6th of last year. And partly was I was like, oh, maybe I'll get some free samples. No. I'm like, give me the free booze. I want the free alcohol because this shit's expensive. But no, that has not worked out in my favor yet. Some
I
things
was gonna
have
say if
been
it
nice.
did, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel right now.
So it's funny, right? Tom Morrow, I don't know if he's still working for LF Heritage, but at the time he was. And it was early on. It was like one of my first couple months. And he sent me, you know, 2-ounce samples of all their stuff. But besides that, I haven't got any booze. However, I have a $600 ice ball maker that some company sent me. Like, that makes sense, you know. Some company sent me a humidor to review. Someone sent me actually like a travel cigar case. One company
You're like,
sent me
can we get
earphones.
back to the bourbon?
Yeah, I was like, but I want the booze. The booze is
Yeah.
what I spent all my money on. So, anyways, so yeah, I started that, and then partly I wanted to learn how to edit because I don't know any of this crap like editing, and I had to buy a camera, I had to buy a computer for the editing software. But I'm retiring to Portugal next year. Me and my wife are currently building a house in Portugal. You know, that just gave me something else to do while I'm out there, is like record videos and post them, be probably more travel related than bourbon, because the bourbon market in Portugal, not so good, let me tell you. If
So
you're lucky, you
I
get Jack Daniel's 7.
you
So
you actually had me almost moving to Portugal with one of the first videos I ever saw by you. You had like Portugal, of course you're in Portugal, had the landscape all going, and you had four,
mhm.
and I don't remember what they were. Were they Jack Heritage or Jack 10s in
Yep.
front of you?
In that video, I reviewed 6 different Jack Daniel toasted, the blue labels,
That's what it
to
was.
kind of see, you know, they're supposedly basically the same product, just single barrel. So I was doing a comparison of how different are the single barrels, and I had 3 groups of 2 barrels right next to each other in the rick houses, and they were still all very different from each
Yeah,
other.
that's
So,
crazy.
you know, that whole thing is like every single barrel is different from other single barrels. Like that kind of showed out in that video. But yeah, the background, that's actually the porch of my like mom's house there. I'll be there in like
That,
3 weeks.
that was the absolute first video I saw, and I was like, Portugal must have be the bourbon capital. He's got like five Jack Daniel's Heritage from Portugal. So that must be like the place to go. I almost booked a plane ticket.
Yeah, 100% brought all those samples there. They didn't have any of that there.
I'm so let
I
down.
definitely have gone hunting there and I've gotten nothing.
Yeah. So you got into WhiskeyTube. You said through SLB, the community, and everything. What? And I saw your channel actually is bourbon, travel, guns, and cigars. And I mean, if that doesn't say like man card, I don't know what does. You see that, and your testosterone goes up 10 points.
Yeah,
But
it's basically I didn't want to do a channel that called like, whiskey something. I wanted it to be more like a Jeremy Sayers type YouTube channel. I don't know if you
hmm
guys know who that is, but
hmm
it's basically about all his interests, and that's what I want to do. I wanted to do a channel about all my interests, but even on my very first video, I said like it's going to be like 90% whiskey content because 9% of my life is centered around whiskey right now. So when my life changes, so will the channel. But I do throw in a couple of different videos. Like some of my best videos are cigar related, and so I should 100% do more because they do well. But you get in a habit of kind of doing the whiskey reviews and they just become easier, like just to
sure.
edit them and stuff like that. And you just kind of get in a roll with that. So doing something else also messes up the YouTube algorithm, which is a whole nother crap thing, but not
Yeah.
that I care,
Sure.
but it does mess it up.
We actually, when I posted that you were coming on with us an evening with that, there were quite a few questions about cigars, and I was like, I'm going to ask these, but I don't know the first Swish or Sweet. That's my go-to. So, and that's if I have a cigar at all. I usually don't even. I have enough vices.
No,
That's
I saw some of those cigar questions, so that's actually why I have the cigar travel case. Got through some cigars in here to hopefully answer some questions, and I have
nice.
some fake and real Cubans here,
Nice.
because I know that was a question.
So I know we asked this before everyone jumped on, but what are you drinking right now? Actually, right now.
Mm. Like literally right now,
Yeah.
I am drinking the Knob Creek 21. It's low proof. It's good. It doesn't do well in blinds for me, but I was like, I'm drinking it by itself, and so why not?
So I gotta ask you because I love Knob Creek and I've heard 12 is amazing and I love 12. 15 is good. 18 has always been kind of shot down a little bit for being over oaked and
Hmm.
just tasting like a branch. How's 21?
It's definitely you get oak on it. It's a lot of vanilla, like a dusty peanut note. That's like the strong note, really. But it is oaky. So, I have done the all six, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, and maybe a pick or something, but I reviewed them all against each other. Do I remember what won? No, because this is another reason why I started YouTube, because my brain doesn't work that well. So I was like, I can just go check my notes. It's
Video
all there on
evidence.
the internet.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's part of it.
that's pretty cool. Video evidence. I like that. Go back and see what works. I have to tell you, my favorite statement is this is the best bourbon I've had all night, and it's usually whatever I'm drinking in the blend. But what is your current favorite pour? If you had just one to go to, what would be your current favorite pour?
Oh, okay. So currently, it's not even a bourbon. I would say it's that damn Sazerac 125 that's just
Okay.
blowing my mind lately. For $40,
Yeah, it's
this thing
crazy.
is doing so good against like all other types of rides. I do plan on doing a video against the Saz 18, the Pappy, or not, the Van Winkle Family Reserve rye, and a Handy. Just kind of see if it kind of toes and toes with those super expensive bottles, which I think is going to crush them. To
Yeah,
be completely honest, just because the proof point for two of them, but we'll see. I plan on doing that like probably next Friday's video or whatever. I
very
just
cool.
opened
That's
all
one
those
that
bottles last Friday.
came out, and I couldn't believe as soon as it was announced, it was all over Illinois, and I was like, I
Mhm.
I could find it anywhere, so I started scooping them up, thinking everyone's got them, and people were like saying, I can't get this, I can never find it, and I'm like, I can find them everywhere right now.
Yeah, Connecticut, we haven't got them yet. Both the bottles I got one from an online store, and then my buddy got like a bunch of them on secondary for like basically $50 a piece. So I grabbed
Yeah,
one of those. Store around here, he said he'll get them soon. They just got like on the books, whatever the freak that means.
yeah.
Eagle Rare 12 is still not on the books. Apparently, it takes like 12 months. I don't know what the hell is going on
That's
around here.
crazy. So you're in Connecticut, and
Unfortunately.
what, so the liquor market not great up there? Because that's going to lead me to another question or another
So
around here in a minute.
we have we call them, one we call liquor stores, packies or package stores. That's a Connecticut thing. But besides being dumb with that, 95% of the stores in Connecticut are secondary stores. They're overpriced. If they get anything, which they apparently get all the good bottles all the time. And you'll go into a store and you'll see them behind the cash register. And as soon as I see that, I walk right out. I don't spend any money at these secondary stores. There's enough good stores in Connecticut that are MSRP stores, but to get those big bottles, everyone has a different way of doing it. So some stores, they do the tater lines, like, they just release a bunch of bottles and you just got to get there early. Some people, show up like a day earlier. So that's some stores. Some stores do like a membership type thing. It's not a membership thing. Like a loyalty program where like the more
Sure.
money you spend, the higher
Yeah.
you are. And they do like one store, my favorite store, actually I'm drinking from there, Glenn Conti's, best store in Connecticut. He does it where like if you're top 50, quarterly he'll open like the vault, basically the barrel room, and
Yeah.
then he raffles off like you could be number one, which usually in the top five. I
I
spent
would
a lot of money
imagine.
on booze, obviously, right? But I could pick 50th. Like, you know what I mean? It's 1 through 50. It's a chance, but they have enough good bottles. I'm never going out there disappointed. I lucked into the Four Roses LE for 2025 because I was like 26th pick or something like that, like kind of low. And I was like, oh, I'll pick it up because it's a 2025 release I can review on the channel. Because I try not to buy stuff I can't really review on the channel because it's past, it's older or whatever, and people don't care. But it ended up becoming second in my top 25 of bourbons of the year. And it was something I wasn't even that excited to get when I bought it. So, kind of worked out in the end.
I gotta tell you, if no one has seen the videos, how many videos did you do on that tournament?
Let's see, 1, 6, 7, 8 in a short, because
So,
I couldn't fit it all in 8 videos.
all the Bourbonados here, if you haven't seen those videos, he just did a comparison for the top, was it 25 or 50?
Basically, it was supposed to be top 25, but the first video was basically like the 25 through 30 to figure out my 25th. So it
Yeah,
was like a play-in
yeah,
round.
the play-in, yeah, and
Yeah,
those videos are amazing. And so if you get a chance
yeah,
to the Bourbonado group, check out those videos. He started in January, correct? Was it
yeah.
end of
Right
January?
after June, like, yeah,
Yeah.
because I wait. So one of my very first videos on my channel last year, probably my third video, I called out YouTube or WhiskeyTube, not YouTube. I called out WhiskeyTube, and I actually messaged Peter from Whiskey's a Journey and Kurt from SLB because they do this that I called them out on. I called out the whole community really, but I wanted to like just tell them like, hey, no offense, I don't want you to be upset with me, but I think it's ridiculous when people are putting out their top 25 lists or top 5 and top 10 lists, and it's still the year and bottles are still coming out because then like, okay, so a bottle just came out at the end of December. Is that going to be in the your top list of 26? Because you're not going to remember. So I would just like, just wait. I know everyone wants to be first. Just wait until January and then put out your list. And then you don't have to worry about like some random bottle that came out at the end of the year and did really well. So as anyways, that was my gripe, my gripe
Yeah.
video.
Hey, I noticed, and I don't know if you just forgot about it, but the Woodford Double Double wasn't on your top 25 for some unknown reason.
If my list, maybe I think Worst Whiskey Wednesdays of 2025 is coming out. I think maybe next Wednesday. I haven't done it or anything, but it's in my head. That might be featured there. Woodford definitely disappointed me last year. That double
So,
double oak was something I was so excited about, and like one, it's $200, which is
yeah,
ridiculous,
that's stupid.
but it wasn't even good. I compared it right to the double oaked. I'm like, I think I would rather have the double oaked
That's what everybody
over
says.
this, and it's like a fifth of the price. Like, what are we
It's
doing here? But
it's
they
almost
did have a couple
novelty
other
now.
bottles that were upsetting. Yeah,
Yeah, it's almost novelty now. It's almost like Malort. I mean, it's not that bad. Don't get me wrong, but it's like the novelty of buying it, even though you know it's probably not going to be that good. But it's like, oh man, I kind of want to taste this for myself. But I got a taste of it, a sample of it, and it is so thin. Um,
yeah.
that was my number one complaint. I got the taste of it, but it's so thin. It's just I want for $200. I want something a little bit more there.
It's right up there with like the thing is like it's not terrible, it's not good, but it's not terrible. But it's just so expensive, And like I was so excited for it. That was one of those bottles I was just so excited for, and just like let me down so much. Where like you buy other bottles and like you don't have no anticipation or expectations, and it's just bad. You're like, okay, well,
Yeah,
whatever. Like I didn't expect anything else, but that one was like definitely something I was like, man,
yeah,
that just let me down
and
so much.
$200. I had a chance a couple weeks ago to grab one, and I sent it out to Charlie and Jeremy, and I was like, I got a chance, and both of them were like, we haven't heard anything good about them. I was like, yeah, and they kind of walked me back from the ledge.
Yeah.
Moving on,
I'll send you
if
guys samples if you guys want more. I got plenty
hey,
probably left around there.
I do want a sample because I tried one of was it last year's or this year's?
It was like when it first came out. I'm
Oh
not buying the new one. That's for sure. I see it now on the shelves again. I'm like, we did they release it again? They just,
yeah,
they
they
thought it was
just
that
did.
good. They want to release it again. I'm like, oh Lord.
They just did. It was January 20th, I think, or that weekend. It was BourbonCon weekend that they released the double double, and people were lining up for a mile for that. And I was like, no. But
They're still
I'm gonna
sitting
give you
here
my
in
address for
Connecticut on the shelves, the first one. So I didn't
that.
even realize they put out a new one. I was like, oh, is this a different one? But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, brand new. I forgot what batch it was,
fun.
but I was like, I'm not doing it. But I know you just released, and it might not have fallen in your tournament. What would be your all-time go-to pour? I shouldn't say go-to. What's your all-time pour? Like, probably best pour that you can think.
It's funny because I just probably had it last Friday night. I opened up I think it's 2022 or 2023. It's actually back there. I can't see it though. William Lou Weller, and
Mm,
it blew my socks off. It was fantastic. But I haven't compared it to some of my other big time bottles, which I might have to. But I really, really enjoyed the Russell's 15 from last year. That was one of my favorite bottles ever. I love George C. Stagg's. Even though I kind of shit on the 2024 because it was very medicinal, great medicinal cherry, like in the beginning. But when I just had it, I think I kept. Oh, your guy from Bourbonado won the sample from that video where I compared the 2024 versus the 2025
yeah,
bottle. The 2024 did actually a lot better than I expected. I thought it was gonna be like easy, like 25 was gonna destroy it. And it hazmat, and it's good. It's very good. But 24 actually stood up a lot, and I was like, man, I spent all year trashing this bottle to people. I'm like, it's not that bad anymore. So it might be one of those things that just needs air. But so I have yet to have a really bad George C. Stagg. I really like George C. Stagg's King in Kentucky. Now this is a bottle that people swear by, and I've had 4 different pours from 4 different bottles. 2 of them have been fantastic, and the other 2 were very disappointing, including the one I most recently had. I had 3 in Kentucky at bars. In Connecticut, got like a single barrel, and one liquor stores basically said, you pay $50, you can try it in a flight with other things. So I was like, sure. A bunch of us went, we had it, and I was like, a lot of us were kind of like, this isn't that good. I'm like, no, this one's not that good. I'm like, this is very oak forward, like overly oaked, and it wasn't tasty. I'm like, oh man, like 'cause a lot of people haven't had King in Kentucky, so they just like think of it like as this unicorn bottle that's supposed to
the
be the best thing
pinnacle.
on earth.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then you get a pour of it, and it's disappointing, and you're like, eh. But by then, I already had one that was also disappointing, so I was like, I guess these are hit or miss. That's 100% something that I'm like, would I try another one? Of course, because I've had some
sure.
that were fantastic. So, I'll still play that gamble. Next time I'm in Kentucky, this only place I've ever seen them in a bar. They're not cheap or anything, but I'll definitely do
we
it again.
we actually were told we were leaving Old Forester during our tour. During I think it was Saturday, we were leaving, and our host, the tour guide, came up and goes, "Hey, the bar out front is going to have King of Kentucky for I think it was $90 a pour." And by that point, I had already just absolutely blown my budget like six times over on bottles since we were in Kentucky. I try to act like I have a budget, and I've blown it like
I
on
was going
day
to ask you,
one.
what does budget mean? What is this word you keep saying? I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
My wife is in the other room, just like rolling her eyes right now. I already know.
I don't know if you saw, but there was a shoe that came right behind your head when you mentioned.
She missed. Gotta be quick in this house, like a cat.
So I said all time pour, what's your go to? If you're just walking in to your room and you're going for your regular, what's your regular?
So I 100% do not have a regular pour. I know this is like a question that a lot of people should have an answer to, but I have so many freaking bottles that it's just like in the cigar world. I have like probably 500 cigars in this humidor over here. I don't necessarily have one that I always go to. If I bought a box, I'll have extra of it. So I'll usually tend to go to the ones I know I have at least a backup of. The reason I grabbed the Knob Creek 21 today, I have a backup bottle of it. So I'm like, well, I don't feel bad if I kill this bottle tonight because I know I have another one. So that's like, I'm always tiptoeing around bottles like to end them, but then I need space. So I got to finish them. So it's like this diabolical thing I have to suffer over here with. Suffer. It's a bad word. No one's suffering. Sorry. It's okay.
Well, that sounds killing the 21 sounds like a goal for tonight's meeting.
Well, it's less than
No,
half.
yeah, I think we can do it.
I got faith in myself.
Yeah.
I do have a couple other bottles up here that I can pour afterwards, though, so I don't have to kill it. But
Nice.
yeah, if there's like lately, it's been the Sazerac 125. I've been drinking a lot of the new Old Forester 1924 because I think I'm one of the only people that figured out how to figure out what release it is. I
just saw that
hard thing to do. So I'm actually going to record a short on how to do it because there's basically 3 ways to kind of look at it to figure it out. So I'm going to make it short and I'll probably post it tomorrow. But just to help the community, because I feel like that's a question that we all have, and we're like, I don't know which release I have, and there's ways to tell. So I want to put that out, so it helps.
Especially when you look at the middle number, you're thinking that's the year, and you're like, wait a second. But yeah, I watched your video and saw how to do it, and I was like, all right, I've got this year's because I saw that you reviewed this year's the best.
Yeah, I picked up a backup bottle of that yesterday because the 24 is already going pretty quick. So I was like, damn it. And it's so far my favorite bottle of 2026. Now it's early on. My favorite so far. I'll wait till all the jacks come out.
I just saw that they're starting. I just saw one today. It's a secondary site, but they released the Jack 12 today. And I was like, within an hour is gone. And I'm like, oh. And I probably would have paid that price for it, but I didn't see it in time. It was going for like $250.
So you saw on secondary today already, huh?
Okay. Yeah. And they said they're getting ready to send out a bunch of batches from, I guess they bottled it last week or whatever. So
I did see that. I did see that they were bottling it. So
yeah, switching gears just a little bit. If you had to name like your go-to distillery, like if you're thinking about where you like the most bottles from, the most varieties from, what would be your number one distillery?
So if you looked on my shelves, the distillery I probably have the most bottles from is Penelope. I don't know why I have every release I think they've ever put out.
Hey, I'm with you on that one. I love it.
It's like, so them and Barrel, they got this whole thing where like we just release a new bottle every week, and like people are just gonna buy it just because it's different and new, and we just release like a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot, but that's one way to market in the bourbon community, in the bourbon world right now, anyways. So I got tons of Penelope. But if I picked a distillery that like I like so much of their products, it's probably Buffalo Trace. I know that's like the tater thing to say.
That's mine too.
And the thing is that I just love them. They're, again, hard to find, expensive if it's secondary and stuff. But Wild Turkey surprised me over the past couple of years, even though I did a Wild Turkey versus Jack Daniel's blind fight, like picked 3 of their bottles against 3 of the bottles. And Jack Daniel's kind of won that. But in the tournament, Jack Daniel's got squashed out by a few different Wild Turkey bottles. So, between those 3 big legacy distilleries are, well, not Penelope, but like Buffalo Trace, Wild Turkey, and Jack Daniel's. I'm really liking kind of like the different stuff that they put out. I also like Jim Beam. I like everything. I'm not like, there are certain brands I don't like. I'll shit on them. I don't like Dickel and I don't like Whistle Pig. And there's people that like them. That's fine. They're just not what I prefer. And I got tons of Whistle Pig. Why? I don't know. I have a bunch of Dickel. I try to give everything a chance. Plenty of chances. Okay.
We of course, Dickel's a running joke in our group. Everybody talks about the Dickel and the chicken cock around our group. So
yeah, chicken cock. I got a few of those.
I was at Chicken Cock down in Louisville, or Nulu. They had just opened down there. We were checking it out, and everything tasted the same to me. Was the problem with the chicken cock, and I wanted to like it because who doesn't like that name? I wouldn't mind getting like a shirt that says chicken cock on or something. But I just ended up not liking the stuff a whole lot.
I got introduced to them because Store Bios did a couple picks with them. So then they brought in more of their products. So I'm like, the pick was pretty good, but. Yeah, I agree with you. It's not something like I go and grab off the shelf like ever. So, Yeah,
their double oaked is okay. But I did find out, and I wish I would have known that the double oak is actually a 10-year product, and I didn't realize that, so I would have given it a little more time. But now that being said, for anybody who likes chicken cock on here, might have been towards the end of my night, so it might have been a lot of drinks before I even got
Disclaimer.
there. So I might need to readdress a few of those pours. You've been around, you said January. You've been over just over a year with
Yep.
YouTube. How many subscribers are you up to now?
I think it's like 2160. I feel like because I'm always on there responding to comments. So how do you go look at the comments? You kind of it pops up your subscribers right in the front. So it should be right around that number, unless I'm just not remembering correctly. But anyways, around there, over 2,000.
Awesome, and that's in it just a little bit over a year. That's
Right.
fantastic, and that was one of the things that I saw your channel, and I was like, when I can't remember when you said it in a video, but it was I'm just over a year, and then I looked back at your subscribers. I was like, that's really good for just over a year. Doing really well with it.
It's not all me, man. I got like SLB always helps me. Kurt's always like, hey, Carlos just did a review on this or whatever. And Peter from Whiskey is the Journey has promoted me from the beginning too. So I give a lot of credit to other people kind of pushing my channel. And that's why I love coming on here because
Yeah,
we're helping each other. That's how I look at
yeah.
it is,
This is
especially, a smaller group. I'm not helping SLB. Everyone that watches me watches SLB. So it's not like I'm helping them at all. But like me, Peter's got like 15,000 subscribers, but I have some people that don't watch them. So I think the community is like the best part of all of it. Like, and no matter what kind of platform you're on, we can all help each other.
I'm
But
I'm
yeah,
starting to
I give a
see
lot of that credit to SLB and Peter.
I'm starting to
Not
see
all
that just
me.
more and more with the community of it is just, for instance, you, and I'll give you some credit when I said, hey, Carlos, I'm on this Bourbonado group and we're doing this get together. And you're probably looking at this like, oh God, is this going to be some weird shenanigans going on? And you're like, yep, I'm on.
It's bourbon's in the word. I'm all in.
And we were talking about Charles earlier, Charles Alford, Brad. When I got a hold of these guys, and I'm like, hey, I know you don't know me, but we've got this kind of a smaller group that's building, and we're just got a lot of momentum, and we'd love to have you on and just to share some bourbon with you and talk a little bit about it. And all of you guys, you're just like, okay. And I'm like, wow, you don't even know if you're coming on to like sacrifice animals or
Are we
do
doing that
anything
still?
crazy.
I think I heard that we are still doing that.
It
Is that not
is.
tonight?
It's after the question and answer portion.
I brought all my Jolly Ranchers for that part.
Nice.
Everyone thinks I
So,
just eat Jolly Ranchers.
so anybody that watches your channel, and that leads me to the next one that wasn't even in my row here. Anybody who watches your channel, you do a lot of notes about Jolly Ranchers. So I want to ask
Sure.
you,
As you can see.
you're like, it's comparison.
Yeah.
uh,
No, it's funny. So I didn't have any Jolly Ranchers in my house until like a week ago. But so I traded with a guy and he used Jolly Ranchers to like pack the bottle because he watches the channel. And then another one of my buddies, he gave me a whole box of just my tasting notes. So he had Sharpie markers in there, a bunch of Jolly Ranchers, strawberry Laffy Taffy, all the notes I usually say, just a box of it. And so I was like, thanks. So
that's
it's
hilarious.
funny. But people always get stuck on the Jolly Rancher note. I don't know
Yeah,
why, but it is what it is.
that's funny that they were actually. We're going to get into that a little bit later. I'm going to ask you a little bit more about palate and building your palate. But back to the channel, other than SLB and a couple of the guys kind of taking you under their wing, how else are you building your channel and brand right now?
I bribe everyone with samples, so not financially responsible, but it's been working.
Yeah.
So my very first channel, that was my part of doing the whiskey part of the channel, was I was giving out samples, and I did it from the very first video that I reviewed, like Old Forester, Mellow Corn, and I forgot what the other bottle was, but I gave away samples,
Oh,
and that was
mellow
something
corn.
I wanted to do. So the reason Mellow Corn was in there, so my first video was, here's 3 bottles, one bottle I don't really like, one bottle I really like, don't like and stuff like that, so that you can kind of see my palate, like, do we have similar palates and stuff like that. And then Mellow Corn was supposed to be the bottle I didn't like. Then I actually liked it that day. So that was like, oh, I'm trying to give you guys an example of something I don't like, and it backfired immediately on the first video. Lied to people. So it was like that. But the sample is definitely something because you need engagement in the comment section because then YouTube likes the engagement and stuff like that.
Sure.
So by forcing people to comment a code, basically, you're getting that engagement. Plus, who doesn't want free samples in every freaking video? Again, not financially smart, but that was something, going into I wanted to share because one, I need room. So, give away. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, probably fortunately for everyone else, unfortunately for me, a lot of my reviews are on my good bottles, and by the end of the year, I have none of it left. Like I got nothing left of my like Jack Daniel's 14. So,
I saw it. You were talking about sending samples out, and you're like, I think I've got an ounce of this left.
So, yeah. Nice. Luckily, my wife helps me with the samples, but yeah, we'll have this whole table covered with sample bottles and stickers and tape and like the little boxes I got. So it's like a night activity we do like once a month to get all the samples out.
What are you guys doing this weekend? Because as you heard, I have 67 samples to send out, and what you're saying is you're practiced up.
Yeah, we got some experience over here, so
So we have a lot of guys that are dabbling into YouTube and Facebook and podcasts, and I don't want to forget anything, and I apologize if I forget a platform. What would you give advice if you had to give a new platform person and some advice on how to launch? What do you think it would be?
I think the biggest thing I would say to people is just be yourself. Don't I love SLB, but there's no way at the end of my videos am I saying drink responsible because I'm not coming off as a hypocrite. That's why I say don't do nothing stupid, and if you do, don't get caught.
Don't get caught.
I do stupid shit all the time. So I'm not gonna tell people, don't drink heavy because that'd be very hypocritical for me, for people to actually know me if they heard me say that to people. I would never say that. So is that the right thing to do? Don't do stupid stuff, but that's not going to come from me. You're going to get that from the actual other people. But just be true to yourself. People make mistakes. People will call you out if you say something wrong. Don't worry, it'll be in the comments. But take it on the chin and just move on. And we're not all perfect. We're all kind of figuring this out all together. But yeah, just be true to yourself. If you have a lot of friends and people like you, then definitely be yourself. Now, if people hate you, you may want to try to be someone different. I don't know. I don't know how successful you're going to be on social media because people are just going to shit on you and they're evil. They're evil on the internet. So, so that's what I would say. Be true to yourself. That's it.
I will say, out of all the channels, I watch quite a few of the WhiskeyTube, and I see a lot of positive interaction on your comments. So that's actually pretty cool to see that, and I think what bodes that and what I really like about you as a YouTuber is you dog on yourself before anyone else can. You're like, oh, I screwed this up or I screwed that up. And you're so down to earth with it that I love watching it because you'll be like, maybe I shouldn't have done this. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. And it's cool because you don't like to watch that person that I'm always right, follow my palate.
There's definitely some out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm a lot of those mistakes I catch while editing. And sometimes I still miss them while editing, and I don't realize it until I'm watching it my wife because I gotta get my views up, so I make my wife watch it. Half the time I just watch on her account. Secret tip.
Also, accounts. Another YouTube trick for the new launchers.
Just get multiple accounts. You gotta get the views up. Yeah. So whatever. I'm not the smartest tool in the toolbox. So I'm good. I get it.
That's awesome. So any future projects coming up for your channel?
Well, I just did my first pick last Tuesday. So I guess that's a project, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
It should be released. I guess April is when they're bottling it. I don't exactly know the time frame. I don't even know how we're gonna figure all that out. But the bottle itself, though, if it tastes like this sample, is going to be fantastic. But I'm not trying to talk it up too much because if it's bottled and it's not good, I'll be very, very upset. So I still have a little bit of a sample left to compare. So that's something I'm very excited about. My sister's a graphic designer. She's actually the one that designed my logo for me and my intro. And so she's designing like, does this have one back? You know, like Copper and Cast, they usually have like the little picture there.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I know it's not even, I know why it's not focusing. I made it so that's not like bouncing while I'm talking.
Oh,
But Coppercast has a little picture, so I'm designing the picture for that, and I'm having her help me because the guy sent me like all this technical jargon. I'm like, I'm just gonna send this to my sister, and like, you know what this means? She's like, I know exactly what that means. Like, yeah, can you just do this for me? Like, I don't know. I just want my logo on top of some fire. It shouldn't be hard.
nice.
So.
So that leads me into another question. How can Bourbonado support you? What are the ways that we could support you?
Dude, I just do YouTube. I got a Patreon, but I don't really promote that. 100%, come find me on YouTube. You just search Carlos Garcia whiskey. It should pop up right away. You'll see this logo. Come visit if you like it. Subscribe. That's how you get into the samples, to subscribe. Because if you, I always say it's like, I'll see people like comment just like the code. I'm like, even if you win, like if you're not watching it in like 3 episodes, you're not going to know you won. So I'm like, sure, enter, I guess.
Any future goals for the channel? Anything that you're kind of looking towards, or any goals that you're setting for the channel?
Well, let's see. I guess 5,000 subscribers. I don't know. It's not something like I'm really talking about or anything. But I guess if I needed a goal, I guess that would be it. Like I remember, like early on, YouTube gives you goals to kind of like chase because like that's how you get like monetized and stuff like that. You need to get a certain amount of subscribers. You need certain view hours. But once you get to like the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 view hours, they don't tell you what to do anymore. So I'm like, okay, I guess I just continue doing what I do and just what it goes, it goes. I'm just trying to grow the channel, help people out, send out samples and try to put out good content. Like I try to do, basically all my videos are blinds, and I personally like doing blinds. So I'm, again, being true to myself. That's what I want to do for other people, because as a consumer, my questions are always like, well, how does that compare to this other bottle? So that's how, as a person making content, I want to kind of answer those questions. So if you want like a single bottle review, Jason Sears, plenty of other whiskey tubers will do single bottle reviews. They do it quicker. My videos are a little bit longer than some because I'm doing like 4-way blinds. You know what I mean? But I always like to compare things to kind of see how it does against maybe something similar or within its family or whatever, maybe a past release like the 1924s. For goals, I'm supposed to be going Bourbon on the Banks this year, which me shitting on Kentucky Bourbon Festival really took my channel an extra notch last year. So
Yeah.
that was like the video that really exploded on my channel. I like to go to events. I don't personally like to crap on them. I would just like to have a great time. But when your events kind of ran like crap, and no one else is going to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was 2 of you that talked about it last year that I caught. You and Brad Hughes basically said, go to Bourbon on the Banks, don't go to Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
Yep.
If you're looking for bottles, go for the experience at Kentucky Bourbon Festival, but don't go to looking for bottles because you're just going to send huge lines that never go down and stuff like that.
The Festival of Disappointment. That was like the whole motto the whole time. It's just
that should be on a shirt.
Be disappointed today. It was just disappointment after disappointment for different reasons. But yeah, Bourbon on the Banks versus Kentucky Bourbon Festival. The Kentucky Bourbon Festival has a lot of things that they can just do a little bit better and be amazing. But they have a whole section that is basically Bourbon on the Banks. It's all the craft area. Bourbon on the Banks has some of the bigger guys, but they just bring their regular, like Buffalo Trace was at Bourbon on the Banks, but they had like Buffalo Trace, Eagle Rare, maybe Sazerac. I mean, like they had like the low end bottles.
Yeah.
But a lot of the craft distillers were there. And so a lot of people liked the Kentucky Bourbon Festival because of the craft side. Because you could just go from tent to tent to tent, drinking, talking to the distiller, the high up people at the distillers, the owners, the blenders, and all that stuff. So that was a lot of fun. You're not waiting in line. Like you're just basically moving from tent to tent. And that was Bourbon on the Banks. Bourbon Banks was you go from one tent to another tent to another tent. And it was like, if you like that part, then just go Bourbon Banks and skip the all the wasted time and waiting in lines for possibly a bottle or just nothing.
Yeah, we've got a lot of Bourbonado groups that have talked about going to festivals and stuff. So I know that you had talked about that, and I want to touch on that. One last question that I have, and then we're going to kind of open it up to all of our members to raise their hand and ask you questions as you go. What are you drinking there? First off, is that Spirit?
This is Art of the
Art of the
Spirit.
Spirit?
Oh, yeah. This thing's not zooming up. Chief Cigar Blend, Chief Geronimo. This is a cigar blend. Yeah, 122 proof.
Which
I thought it was a hazmat one for a second. It's like, oh boy.
which absolutely leads me to my next question, and it's B. How do you score all these awesome bottles?
I've been doing this for a few years now. In the beginning, I would drive around, go. I saw a liquor store, I'm jumping in. I still do. If I see a liquor store that I haven't been in, I'm going to check it out. But now in Connecticut, I've been to pretty much all of them, so I know they're all crap. But back in the day, I would go to liquor store, and just kind of see what they had, their pricing. So it was very easy to find the good ones. Plus, I'm part of, you got to get in your local bourbon groups. So in Connecticut, we have basically two Facebook groups that everyone's part of: Connecticut Bourbon Bastards and the Connecticut Whiskey Enthusiasts. And so, you just go on there, you ask, like, where's the good liquor stores in this area? And we've kind of compiled a list. And a lot of those liquor stores are in the groups. They know what we as consumers are looking for. No, the shitty liquor stores aren't in there. If you post a picture with a price, which when you can't do it on Facebook anyways, but if you post a picture and then in the comments you kind of like put the price and it's a crappy price, people are just gonna shit on you anyway. So
Yeah.
you're not gonna be in a group very long,
Yeah.
if you're and in Connecticut, everyone's always posting, the secondary site or secondary liquor stores, like, hey, look at Crazy Bruce over here with his Weller pick for like $250, or I mean, like, it's gonna be sitting there because no one's gonna buy it. But there is money in Connecticut, so people still do stupid shit and buy them ridiculous prices. So they keep doing it because people are still buying it. But so I went around, found the good stores, got good relationship with those stores by spending money. that's that's what happens, right? What I would do is I found one store that had military discount. I was like, there's no discounts on liquor in Connecticut. And I found a store that does military discount. That's my favorite store now. So we'd stop there all the time and I'd buy all their picks. Anytime they came out with a pick, and they would do picks like in tequila and rum. And it wasn't just like whiskey. It's a bigger store. They own a couple of different stores. So, they became friendly with you. And at the time they had a different membership program. And so they saw that you're spending money there. And then, once you get to a point where you have their phone numbers and stuff, like I get text messages from multiple liquor stores like every day. I was like, hey, this just came in. Do you want it? Like the liquor store right by my house, it's like 2 blocks away, a hole in the wall. Everyone goes in there for nips and lottery tickets, but they'll get some random bottles. And the manager there, she'll just text me. It's like, hey, this bottle just came in. Do you want it or not? You get to the point where you're one of the top customers and you don't have to go hunting anymore. Now,
That's
do
awesome.
these stores is that how I've never got a BTAC this way? I've never got a Pappy this way. I never got any like my big bottles that way. But like I don't have to worry about not getting the 04s or 1924. You know what I mean? Like those medium allocated bottles that, some it's harder to get, but they'll get like 6 of them for, their stores. Those are the bottles that like, hey, do you want this? I'll get that. So usually those I get whenever Connecticut gets stuff because our distribution's crap. But man, last year I entered some national holidays. I don't know if you guys know Fang.
Yeah. Yeah.
On Facebook, it's always like the stupid advertisements for me. And so I was like, you know what? I think this is a scam. Let me just enter it. I entered, lost. I'm like, let me try it one more time. I'm a degenerate. So I had to test it at least twice, apparently. So I entered it again and I won a Pappy 20 year. I was the number, I was number one, right? I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And they sent it to me perfectly shipped. I was like, well, okay. And then I entered it again later on in the year, and that's how I got the Georgie Stag from last year, the hazmat one, because I came like in second or something. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I entered this thing 3 times and I was like in the grand prize 2 out of 3. So luck, right? That's how I got some of those big bottles. We do tater. I'll wait out in the freaking snow apparently while it's snowing for 2 hours for a Stag Junior pick. I just did that like a month ago. It's not like I did that like 5 years ago. I did that 5 years ago, but I'm saying I'm still doing that today. So I'm still putting in the effort to get some of those allocated drops. And some stores, I'll go there right after work. I work nights, so I get off at 6 in the morning, and they're like, we open the doors at 9. There's already people in line, but I'll be like maybe 10th or something, and Usually they do charity things, so price is a little bit higher, but the proceeds go to charity. So I get some bottles that way. And then I just happen, you know, when you're this involved in the whiskey world and you're like traveling, like I went to Arizona in November to meet my Air Force buddy out there. And we went up to Whiskey Row, and someone's noticed I was there, linked me up to his friend who's a collector up there that's trying to offload his bottles. So my friend who's not into the whiskey as much as I am, there's very small percentage of people, you know, us nerds, we're together on this. So he just didn't understand that I was just meeting some random dude at a storage unit to go buy some booze. And then when he saw how much money I spent like over $5,000. And he's like, what the heck did you just do? You just left out there with like one box. I'm like, you don't understand. These are very expensive bottles. It was like a Pappy 20, you know, like the William Llewellyn, the Saz 18, all those bottles I opened last Friday, that was from that collector. You know, Pappy 20, I donated to Riley's, the SLB charity that they do. You know, I've donated George C. Stagg, a Pappy 15 and a Pappy 20 over the past 3 years. And, you know, I think what they do with that charity is incredible to, you know, raise over $1 million over the past couple of years.
Yeah, it's
for a whiskey community is just insane. So anything I could do to help out that, you know, I try. So I got another Pappy 20 for him for this year. So we'll see. Maybe I'll actually open this one. I don't know. I still got time.
We just started back in May with the Bourbonado group. And was that in October? Or was in November, the Riley's charity?
It was around there, October, November, for sure.
And we had quite a few jump on there and sponsor, because that's such a great cause. And how can you not get behind that? I mean, if you can't get behind that. So we jumped on there, and actually that I had already seen your channel, like I said, the Portugal video from way back, but I saw him, and I saw him on Bourbon the Banks on, I think, your channel, how Kurt was like, yeah, he slept through the whole thing and it was amazing. You missed it all.
He threw me under the bus, that son of a gun. Like, Kirby, how are you letting me down like this? Oh, we're buddies.
And Kurt, during the by time I was able to tune into the Riley auction, oh my gosh, Kurt was feeling good. And him and Trent were talking, and he's like slurring his words, and he's like, I'm a few in. And I was like, you know, this is awesome. This is the way to do it right here. If you're going to do it, this is the way to do it. So you were talking about buying all your store picks and everything. Right now I have at least 7 Penelope Project X's, because I go and buy all my store owners picks and try to get all their other bottles while I'm there. So, but yeah, I buy these things like crazy, and I really don't need 7 Penelope Project X's.
I only have 3, but that's only because we've only got 3 picks around here so far. But there's so many picks all the time. So, but mainly I kind of do that with 2 stores, and it's one store, they do like a point system as well, but you get a point or a raffle ticket basically for every store pick you buy. And then like every like $50 you spend there, you get another raffle ticket. So if they got picks that are under $50, I'm like, well, that's better anyways. And when you buy enough picks, you kind of figure out like, okay, I have similar palate. I enjoy what you're doing. You know what I mean? So I don't mind picking them up anyways. Plus, you know, when you do a pick, you're buying like 150 bottles, and you got to move that. That's a lot of bottles to buy. I'm like, I'll help. I'll drink it eventually, maybe. Yeah. When I'm dead, I don't know.
Or pass them around. That's
I have Whiskey Cigar Club on purpose to open up bottles. They're my fresh crack guinea pigs.
That's awesome. Well, at this time, I think we'll open it to some of our Bourbonado members who'd like to go ahead and raise your hand on the screen. And I'm going to kind of turn this over to Jeremy to kind of handle the questions and answers. But first off, as we're going through that, as people are raising their hands, Jeremy, did you have any questions that they pre-posted that you want to ask?
Sure. We've got a few technical ones we can run through, and then they've got some specifics. I want to get back to the Jolly Ranchers, because that has
what would you like to know?
Well,
would you like some?
You brought up, I personally have heard you go into the red Jolly Rancher note and the purple Jolly Rancher.
That's the most common one.
So what are you getting when you say red? What is coming to mind for you?
Just sweet red fruit. So it's like, typical, like really what's giving me the thing is like back in the day, I used to go to the bank with my mom and it would give you that hard like lollipops. It was just like pure sugar and some red fruit flavor. It's kind of the same thing. So I kind of use the red Jolly Rancher as that red fruit sweetness, the purple Jolly Rancher as that like purple grape sweetness, green Jolly Rancher as that like green apple sweetness. And someone asked me the other day, like, what about blue Jolly Rancher? And I'm like, I don't think I've ever picked up blue Jolly Rancher on a bourbon, but maybe it's just because I don't eat these enough. So I have a whole bag now. So I got to eat some more Jolly Ranchers to figure out blue Jolly Rancher into a video.
Do
Oh,
what
there's
you
pink.
must.
I have said pink a couple times. So that's
Yeah.
a watermelon sweetness.
There was a question about the blue glassware that they noticed in a number of videos, and you utilize that. What's your reasoning behind using the blue glassware so much?
So for a while I used black, and then I got the blue ones just because they look cooler. But really, it's because I do blinds basically in all my videos, and I don't want anything to kind of like show me like, oh, this is darker than this one, and I'm comparing a 21-year-old Knob Creek to a 9-year-old Knob Creek. So I don't want anything to kind of like make me biased anyway. So that's why I use a dark lens. But for the first few videos, probably the first couple months, I used clear, and then I moved to black, and now I use a blue just because I like the blue is pretty. But as you can see, I use clear on a normal basis, like a regular Glen, like a normal human.
Yeah.
This blue Glen's fancy.
So then the other question that came up when we were discussing some of the things for you and growing is, do you have any merchandise, or have you considered adding some merchandise, for instance, your own Glens or other items?
I like when I first started, I made a couple of shirts. Like this is like the third irritate or the third different type I made, because on the back it says "Shut up, liver, you'll be fine." Because I had a "Shut up, liver, you'll be fine" shirt at KBF, and
That's the one I
so many
saw.
people. So
Yeah.
many people came up to me to take pictures of it. I'm like, dude, I need to put that on the back of my shirt with like my YouTube stuff on it. So people taking pictures of it, they see my YouTube channel at least, maybe I'll, marketing, right? So I have made shirts mainly for myself to wear, to, self promote. I made some extras for some of my friends to wear around. Every time I've ordered Glencairns, I've made extras so that if my friends want them, they can have it. Something I want to do on Patreon this year. The reason I'm not promoting Patreon too much, and I don't know how many people know about this, but Trent from SLB is the one behind ONLYDRAMS, and they're doing like an ONLYDRAMS communities, which is supposed to be a Patreon alternative. And I'm supposed to be beta, but or beta testing, alpha testing, whatever. But the Android version isn't working so well, and I'm an Android guy, so I haven't gotten yet. But once I'm on ONLYDRAMS communities, I'll talk more about that. And one of the things I want to do as a perk is like, hey, do you want a Glencairn? Do you want a shirt? And that translates to merchandise at some point. Or if people want something, I'll create it and send it to them. I don't care. The problem with not these Glens, the Glens I use, they're not cheap. I go through Crystal Imagery and they're like $30 a glass. And I'm like, I know I wouldn't spend $30 a glass to buy some random person's thing, but I'll give that away as a perk. You know what I mean? Because I think it's expensive. That's because the letter, I think too, but it's an expensive thing, and I don't expect people to do that. And I wouldn't be selling merch for profits. I'd probably just be like, this is how much I spent. If you wanna rock my shirt or glassware, like, I will ship it straight to your house from the company. You know what I mean? Because like you're basically helping me promote. So I'm not trying to make any money on top of that. So once we get there, that's been a question that people have been asking me over the past year. I just think I think I'm just too small of a channel to kind of like support that. Like, I don't want to be a channel that does a bunch of picks. And now I'm doing my first pick, and I'm like I don't know like a lot of the logistics and stuff like that. But people have been asking for a pick for a while. So I'm like, well, this kind of just fell in my lap. It was almost going to be a cigar blend pick. We went there for me anyways, I went there to pick a copper and cast cigar blend single barrel. And we tried 3 or 4, and they're okay, but nothing that I would put my name on, especially for my first pick, because you don't want to put out a bad first pick, because then no one's ever going to buy a pick from you again. I wasn't that comfortable with that. Then we tried a 160 proof 21-year-old Canadian whiskey. That was,
Whoa.
I could sell that all day. Who doesn't want a 160-year-old, 21-year-old whiskey? But it tasted like butter popcorn and nothing else. So I was like, again, I'm not going to put my name on that. And someone actually posted in Bourbonado earlier today that they got like a 20-year-old right below that proof. And I asked them, like, did you are you getting butter popcorn on that? Because I'm curious if that's every barrel or because it's copper cast too. So I'm very curious on that. Then they started pulling out single barrels from MGP that were short barrels, and then they're starting to be good, 10-year-old. And then he goes, I got this other one that's a really short barrel, maybe like 60 bottles. And I'm like, well, let's try that one. And I tried it and I didn't say nothing because I want to see everyone's reaction. It was unanimous, like #1 by far. And if you saw the video I did for my Whiskey Cigar Club recap, it came in second place. And there were some crazy bottles in that lineup for it to do that well. And they don't know, no one in the group knows what they're drinking. But anyways, to answer your merch question, I went down a rabbit hole again. Sorry.
That's fine.
That's all good.
I usually edit all this crap out of my videos. Let me tell you.
Hey, so Carlos, I got to tell you, I just remembered that shirt, like, because it was you wearing that "Shut Up, Liver, You're Fine" shirt on,
Yeah.
and you were carrying, literally, you're saying that, like, looking at your shirt, you are wheeling around a hotel concierge cart with all these bottles stacked up, and you're like trying to keep them from falling over. And I was like, now that is funny. Shut up, Liver, you're fine, while he's carting around 60 bottles of bourbon.
The homeless guy walking down the street with all his bottles. No big deal. Don't look at that guy. It's okay.
We actually met Chris Blankenship at BourbonCon, and he's been talking to us about ONLYDRAMS, and we're kind of seeing maybe along the way if something would add up for us. But school's been pretty good for us, but we're always looking at different avenues and stuff. So we're looking at different stuff with Chris and Trent also. But that's pretty cool that you're looking at that, because I think it's going to be pretty cool it's going to be a very good Patreon. So
no, I had a meeting with Trenton about it, and he's trying to fix a lot of problems that people that use Patreon have. So he's trying to make it better. So we'll see. Hopefully he figures it all out now that he's retired.
So one last question before we get to any questions anyone might have. Have you had any McBrayers?
Oh, we got to ask you that.
So I saw that in the other videos I watched with Brad and Charles, and I was like, man, I have to look. And I don't have any of those bottles at all. I looked online and everything. Yeah. we got trade samples. I got to send you the double.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to fix that for you. But that was one of the questions some of the members in here were posting, wanted to ask you, because speaking of barrel picks, we've got a barrel pick that's going to be, Jarrod thought I was about to announce something, but we're going to be having it very soon in the future. We did a pick.
You guys have the McBrayer Mondays. I like that. I like that whole, like, every day is kind of like a different thing. I know in the SLB community, because I've been an OG, so I've been on their Discord for years, and like Frey Ranch used to be like their big thing back in the day. It was like Fridays.
Yeah.
So I get it. I love it. I actually have I'm going to show you. It doesn't matter because it won't pop up properly, but I have a whole board about like all the days and stuff like that. But Tater cool. Tuesdays is my favorite day, and forces people to open up fancy bottles.
We with ours, we've McBrayer's kind of become our unofficial distillery of Bourbonado. They've jumped in way back when, and we just love the juice, and we've talked to them many times. And when we were in Louisville, Bill came out to our Friday night dinner to talk to us, and we're literally, if you haven't seen the video, they dumped it last week and bottled it all this week. So we're going to have some big announcements coming up as soon as we get confirmation, but it's coming a lot sooner than what we thought. So we're going to have some great announcements coming up for that single barrel. And Carlos, for you being with us, I'm going to spin the wheel, and your name's the only one on it. We're going to send you some samples of McBrayer. We're going to send you some samples of McBrayer so you can check it out. And especially when we start getting that single barrel rolling out, we'll make sure you get something.
I appreciate it, man. I really do.
We've had some questions. I'm going to call out Joe Johnson. I don't see the hand up here. Joe, I'm going to make it so you can unmute. Go ahead and ask your question.
I actually have two questions. Your favorite craft distillery, and it don't have to be NGP. And the second question is do you pair your cigars with a certain bourbon? Does it have to be a cigar blend, or is it just any bourbon?
All right. So for smaller distilleries, I like Cedar Ridge. I like JT Mellick's rice whiskey, which is just ridiculous, but it's pretty good. SOB did a pick with them a couple years ago, and I was like, this is a rice whiskey? This is nuts. Short Barrel is putting out some good stuff. Conviction or SGD, which I'm not as high on them as Brad. Which, speaking of Brad, I was hoping he'd be here. Yep. No, I have a bunch of Conviction. I was gonna see if Brad wanted something. I heard he wanted something fancy in his life.
Wow, look at that. Now that was just a straight up flex. Look at that. He's just flexing.
Yeah. But I saw that, I was like, I could probably trade him a sample if you want. It's like trying to get the whole community together. I was like, I could send him a sample. It's fine. Anyways, so a lot of those Detling, I had a couple of Detlings last year I really liked. Yeah, I'll be very honest. I'm not the biggest craft fan because I don't like the crafty note. I don't like that cardboardy note. Oh, another one, Journeyman, I like. I was just thinking about the roasted tomato note, I guess sometimes. Grilled tomato note, I get that no one else gets, but I don't care. I don't really like that craftiness. I do prefer older whiskey, but there are craft distillers that are putting out good whiskeys or rice whiskey or whatever. And so I like that. So now for the cigar question, my favorite pairing is when I wake up on vacation and go grab a Connecticut and a coffee and go sit on a balcony and look over the ocean or a mountain or something like that. That's my favorite thing because it's more of like the experience, and it's just like the first thing I would do in the day. It just makes the whole day better. But if I'm smoking like a regular, like I'm at the lounge or I'm here with my friends, because right behind here is like kind of like a little smoking area. It's like a 3 Seasons room type thing. And so I'll grab a cigar, and what I do, and I kind of did a video with this in Puerto Rico, but it was with rum. I was pairing rum with cigars right on the beach. And like great videos early on, so definitely check that out. But what I usually do, if I'm really kind of pairing it, I'll grab like 4 different bottles, and that includes smoky scotches because one of my favorite pairings is a peaty scotch with a cigar. I'll grab like, a Brothers and Leaf, which is one of my favorite cigar bourbon blend things. It's fantastic by itself, and it's really good with a cigar. I'll grab something like that. I'll grab maybe something like the Old Forester 1924, something that I'm enjoying. Because I think the way you should start, or not, I don't should, but a way to pair is you grab your favorite cigar that maybe it's a cigar you smoke all the time, and you grab some of your favorite bourbons or whiskeys, whatever, and you kind of, sit down and enjoy that cigar, and you just, pour, an ounce pour. And as you're going through the cigar, which, an hour and a half, you try different things with it. So it kind of shows you different profiles and stuff like that. And you're like, okay, for this cigar that I enjoy all the time, I liked it more with, an Irish or whatever. And that's what I do. I'll just grab random bottles. And while you're smoking, the first third, the second third, and the final third, that also changes the cigar. So I'll go back to like maybe the first pour and pair it with the second third, just because that's a different profile in the cigar. So while the cigar is changing, I'm also changing the whiskeys to kind of like figure out exactly.
Didn't we have another cigar question come up on the pre-questions?
It was about Cubans.
It was. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you remember the question, Carlos?
I don't, but I would just say here. I don't know if this camera's going to pick it up. I might have to zoom in, but yeah, it's not going to do it because I purposely did it. So in the label, because this Cohiba is the most counterfeit cigar in the world. So when people come back from like Mexico, Cancun, they come back with these cigars, it's 100% fake. So if you're not buying these at a Casa Habano, no matter where it is in the world, because that's the Cuban government's own like stores, and they regulate it. And even some of those have been doing shady stuff and they get caught. But if some guy on the beach in Cancun comes up to you with some cigars and is like, here's some real Cubans, and it looks like this, 100% fake. If the camera had a different thing, I would show what a real one looks, and you'll see the difference. But I do want to do a video, try to warn people not to buy fake Cubans. And I kind of talked about it in a video before early on. It's a video I want to record 4 years ago because I actually want to cut open a bunch of different fake Cubans and kind of show you the difference on the inside, because people still smoke them. And I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do, because you don't know what's inside that. That's not regulated. It's literally just whatever could be in there. So it's a caution to the winds, and that one I'm showing, the fake Cohiba, I got in Cuba. It was the first trip. So like 4 years ago. So I went to Cuba twice. My buddy has been there 3 times, once like 15 years ago. We did a rum and cigar pairing, and the guy running it was giving us fake Cuban cigars. And we called him out on it. And our tour guide, because we had a tour guide the whole time, he was always with us. And we were just explaining to him, like, you know, this is what a real one looks like. Because, you know, we're in Cuba. We went to the store. We got cigars in our bags and stuff. And we showed him the labels. And he went and grabbed the whole brand new box, opened it right in front of us. And they're all fake. I'm like, yeah, those are fake too. I'm like, I don't know where your source is, guy. But the labels are not even good fakes. Now, are they technically Cuban? Probably, because they're probably being made in the back of the factories in Cuba. So it's probably still Cuban tobacco, but it's not the real thing that you want to buy. You know what I mean? So I always look at it as a lot of people shit on Cubans because they most likely had a shitty Cuban. And I don't say Cubans are better than, you know, Dominican Republican cigars or Honduras or Nicaraguan. I actually think a lot of the New World cigars are more flavorful and they give you a lot more options, where the Cuban cigars are around the same. But the one thing I've noticed, and my buddies have also noticed, because, you know, we'll chain smoke cigars in Cuba from morning to night, and our throats are completely fine the whole time. No issues. We feel fine. Dude, I'll smoke 3 cigars New World, and, you know, I'm feeling it sometimes. And I feel like that's the main difference between like a real Cuban and a New World. But I will say the New World's one, there's a lot more, and it's not like one government controlling it. Like, there's a bunch of companies doing it, so they can be a lot more flexible about different stuff. You know, I would prefer one of those anyways. That's the biggest difference that I've seen smoking the two, like, kind of over the past years.
Okay.
I do want to do a video about fake Cuban cigars and how to spot a fake one and how to spot a real one, but it's coming eventually.
That's pretty cool.
We've got another question coming in from Scott here.
Hey, how's it going? When we were at Old Forester on Saturday, I learned that one of my favorite bourbons is going to be being discontinued and or possibly rebranded coming here.
1924?
What's that? No. It's
the 1924?
The Statesman.
Statesman.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Old Forester Statesman I learned was going to either be discontinued or rebranded. Do you have any inside information on any brands that may be being discontinued or maybe have some new releases coming up in 2026 that you feel safe letting us know about?
If I knew anything, I would tell you. I am not Charles. I do not have the inside scoop to anything. If I know something, I usually tell people like right away. But I have heard a rumor, and I thought that's what you're leaning towards, that they're going to stop doing the 1924 and put that juice into the King of Kentucky small batch because it's the same mash bill. Because basically the early times that they sold off the Sazerac, so the Sazerac can kill it off. So I don't know if that's a true rumor, but I kind of just heard that because I've been doing a couple of videos of 1924. So we'll see if the 1924 comes back out next year, and if they're just going to start putting that into King of Kentucky. So we'll see. Hopefully, because King of Kentucky is now starting to like push more. You know, it's not just Kentucky, and now that they have the small batch, they're going to need more juice. So we'll see. A lot of that kind of like like last year, if you asked me that, I would actually be able to tell you something. I knew about the Jack Daniel's Toasted before like anyone because of not Brian. I forget the guy that does like all the single barrels and he's like the barrel maturation guy, Byron. He did a Jack Daniel's tasting over here at a store. He actually told us about that the Jack Daniel's Toasted was going to come out and it was going to be a shelf stable product. So when it came and everyone's going crazy looking for it, I was like the first one was like, no, stop paying secondary for this. This is supposed to be shelf stable. It's just the hype is what's driving crazy. But yeah, nothing like that. Like I wish I knew. I wish I knew cool stuff like that, man. Let me tell you. Out in Connecticut, if we don't do some kind of something like that, we don't know nothing.
I haven't had it in a while, and I heard the bad news for you, and I was kind of not a huge fan. I don't think I haven't gone to it in quite a while, but I knew how big you were on that brand, so I was kind of crying for you. I get red Jolly Rancher notes and marker.
No, a damn marker. It sabotaged all of Jack Daniels this year.
Sharpie on the nose and a little bit of blue glass finish.
Well, I think we had one more question come on the chat. I don't want to go on, but do you prefer a certain cut in a cigar?
It usually depends on if it's like a regular, like the rounded top or, torpedo. So torpedo, I usually do regular cut, but sideways on, you know, the regular tops. I usually do a V cut, and sometimes I'll do like the double V cut. Sometimes I'll do the punch, which in Cuba they call that the asshole, and they call the V cut the vagina cut. That's what they literally call those cuts in Cuba. So, you know, some cultural references. But yeah, I'll do. I usually depend on the cigar I'm smoking. I'll do a cut, but I prefer V cut on most cigars.
Man, I tell you, oh, we had one more pop up. What's his opinion on Drew Estate? I'm not even sure what that is.
Drew Estate's a cigar.
Oh, okay. See, that's what Swisher
Yeah.
Sweet was. That must be a sister or brother to that. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. They're family probably, and they probably come from the same factory. Yeah, I love Drew Estate. They do good stuff. There's a lot of cigars I enjoy. There's rarely cigars that I absolutely like won't go back to, because you don't know if that's just that one cigar. There's so many factors that go into a cigar that it might just be that cigar, and so I give a lot of cigar. Like, I not necessarily buy cigars by the box. I usually don't, but I'll give cigars multiple chances over the years and kind of see. I love Liga Privada, all the stuff that Steve Saka is doing, especially for the brulees, Silver Mrs. brulees. They're not sweet tip, but they taste sweet, and that's cigar. I buy that by the box because the guys that come over here for Whiskey Cigar Club, not all of them are cigar guys, and they love that because it gives a little bit of sweetness right up to the lip. So it's, you know, just a little better experience for them. But, you know, sometimes I'll have that with a coffee because it's, you know, it's lighter and it's a little sweet. I don't hate on people smoking whatever. Enjoy life, man. Who am I to tell you to not smoke like an acid or Fat Bottom Betty and stuff like that? You know, stuff that like my wife will smoke, you know, the girly cigars or whatever. I'm like, if you enjoy it, who gives a shit? Like, if you like shitty whiskey, I don't care. Fucking drink your shitty whiskey. I'll just be saying it in my head, but enjoy it. I don't care.
Very cool.
Especially
So
if I own it, go drink all my double oaks, please.
So, two things. One, I think Charles would agree with me, and he was supposed to come on tonight and ask you about this. Charles has challenged you to a Malort challenge. Have you ever had the Malort?
I've had a Malort, and it wasn't that long ago. It's disgusting. I don't like it. It just tastes like botanicals to me. It's just like kind of like a ginny. I'm like,
There's
you know, not
zero finish on it. It's just like boom. It's like a chewed aspirin in your mouth. As soon as you
it's
drink
not
it.
good. I understand why everyone hates it. My local store actually did 3 different Jepson something, whatever it is, picks, and they're actually pretty good, and they're like $40 a bottle.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? That's
Jepson,
the same company that does these Malorts.
The Jepson's bourbon is not bad. In fact, I will say their maple finish is actually pretty good, but all their other stuff, it's
Now,
like, okay.
Is there so I've never had their actual regular bourbon that I remember anyways. Is that their own juice? Their regular bourbon, is that something they're producing themselves, or is that they're sourcing?
I think it's theirs. I know they're out of
Okay.
Chicago. I'll have to look into that. I think it is theirs.
Because their single barrels are sourced, because the ones that my local store had, one was like wild turkey sourced, and the other ones were other things. And for like the price point and like the proof points, I was like, what? Like, this is good. Yeah. And it's under $50. So it's crazy it's the same company.
I wouldn't doubt it's MGP, but I'm not positive on that. I know as soon as we asked that, Jeremy started looking it up. So I don't think I even have to ask him to. But so everybody on here
sourced
want to
MGP.
Yeah, that's what I figured, because I know they do a maple cask that everybody actually pretty well likes. But there was a couple YouTubers that are saying, "Oh, Jepson's is the best," and everyone compares it to Malort, and I'm like, okay, it's not the best. It's
you compare anything to Malort. That double oak is pretty freaking good. Let me tell you.
You're like, I would pay $200 for the double
oak. That shit in a hole. Have you had a Beyonce bourbon or a whiskey? So I think the rye, the
Sir Davis.
Also very shitty, and it's like $80. Let me tell you.
But it's such a fancy bottle.
It is a nice looking bottle. I can't wait to dump it and throw some good juice in there. Even apple juice would be better. Anything at all.
Carlos, this has been awesome getting with you tonight, man. This has been fantastic.
I appreciate it, man.
Coming on. What I'd like to do, what we do for all of our guests at the end, is I would like to I gotta give you a second here. I am doing the Statesman for Scott for your loss. I'm sorry, Scott. I'm doing the the Statesman. What I'd like to do is give you a Bourbonado send off, and thank you so much for coming out tonight and being with us, spending your Thursday evening with us and hanging out with us. This has been fantastic. And everybody on Bourbonado, we're gonna. I know I've seen it before, time and time again. I know that all of our guys will jump on your site and subscribe and like and comment and all that kind of good stuff. And for you'll probably be like, hey, Bourbonados, lay off a little bit on all the comments. So, but we will thank you so much for coming on, and we'll support you in any way we can. And thanks for jumping on our platform. You didn't have to come on and become a member, but that was a huge bonus for us. So we really like that you came on and became a member.
You guys got a good group. Everyone's been very, very friendly. So I like that.
That's awesome. Everybody, if you would raise your glasses. Carlos Garcia, thank you for coming on tonight. Bourbonados, thank you for being with us tonight. Cheers.
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 Cheers.